I know it's only rock and roll, but I like it. That's right. Today I'm going to talk about the Rolling Stones and the albums I have by them on CD. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of their albums. I think they released more than 12 albums. And besides the Beatles, I could not argue with anyone out there who says after the Beatles, the Rolling Stones are the best band of all time. They might not be, for me, like for my personal favorites, I don't think they'd be number 2. But they're right up there for sure, for all of the great songs they've done. So I'll show you what I have on CD, starting with the earliest album I have from 1967, so it's not that early. There's Satanic, Majesties, Request. And of course, that used to be I guess a 3D cover or whatever you would call it. I remember seeing it in the record stores way back in the late 60s. And you know, the 3D cover, and it's like, oh, that's so cool, I want to get that. But I never did. And supposedly you can see John and I think you can see the Beatles, or at least John and Paul, somewhere in there. I don't know. I have seen them, but the only thing I don't like about CDs like this, it's not the original, you know, that wasn't the original gatefold. So I wish they would stick to how the original album looked. London label. And I'll rate each of these 2. I would rate this like an 8.5 out of 10. In Another Land, 2000 Man, She's a Rainbow, one of my favorites. 2000 Light Years from Home, which might be my favorite Rolling Stones song. Yeah, In Another Land. Yeah, 8.5. Next I have Beggars Banquet. That was the second cover. The first one was a bit more disturbing. Won't show it up too close. Same label. Once again, I don't think it had a gatefold. I never owned it. Oh, maybe it did. Maybe that was the gatefold. But I never did have it on vinyl. And I really don't play, there's just certain albums of theirs that I play more than others. But it is a great album, of course. I'd give it, for me personally, an 8 out of 10. But I know most Rolling Stones fans would say 10 out of 10. And I just showed the toilet cover anyway. Yeah, Sympathy for the Devil, Parachute Woman, Street Fighting Man is awesome. Salt of the Earth, great stuff. And so when I was a young kid, of course, I was into the Beatles and then the Monkees. The very first time I really appreciated the Rolling Stones was when I had this vinyl record, Through the Past Darkly, Big Hits Volume 2. And I loved every song on this. Little tribute to Brian Jones. And I guess the UK version, this is the Canadian version. So I think there's a couple different songs on the UK version. And then Let It Bleed. Oh, I would give this, of course, a 10 out of 10. Let It Bleed. Very same as Beggars Banquet. I don't play them very much. So for me, it'd be like an 8 out of 10. Once again, the packaging, I know there's different reissues, but this one could have been a little classier, especially when it's one of the best bands ever. One of my all-time favorite album covers, Get Your Ya-Ya's Out, with Charlie Watts. Great live album, of course. Yeah, some of these reissues are just kind of thrown together by the record company and not the greatest packaging. 10 out of 10, great live album. My favorite Rolling Stones album is next. It is Sticky Fingers by the Rolling Stones. This zipper doesn't work though. Now this is how you do a reissue. There's a bonus CD. Yeah, so the bonus CD is Brown Sugar with Eric Clapton, Wild Horses acoustic, and alternative versions, Midnight Rambler. And it even comes with a booklet. Yeah, Moonlight Mile and 2,000 Light Years from Home are my two favorite Rolling Stone songs. But there's a third one. When I get to the album, I'll let you know. Credits. Next up, Exile on Main Street. Some Rolling Stone fans' favorite. I like it a lot. I prefer, I think side one of the 4 sides, side 1 is a 10 out of 10. And then the other 3 sides I don't care for as much, but I still, really do like them. I'd give this a 8.5 out of 10. Once again, the packaging for this one is kind of in between the bad and the good. At least it's showing all of the artwork from the vinyl record. Now this one is very underrated. I've really become a fan of it in the last couple of years. Goat's Head Soup. I love that. So this is once again a double CD with rarities and alternative mixes. So 2 CDs and a book. So once again, very well done. The record company didn't cheap out this time. And yeah, I would like to get more Rolling Stone albums. The Elmo Combo live set that came out in the last few months. I've heard some of that. Sounds great. Black and Blue, which I've never... Maybe I did have it on vinyl at one point. So yeah, Goat's Head Soup, what did I give it? I forgot. Did I rate it already? I'll change the rating then. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It's only rock and roll. Kind of a very good Rolling Stones album, but not a, not one of their best. But still, good. Once again, we get back to the crappy packaging. They go all out, don't they? The great Billy Preston and Nicky Hopkins and others. Another one of my favorites. So it's only rock and roll. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Some Girls, a 10 out of 10. What a great comeback album it was when this came out in 1978, I believe. And artwork from the album. Yeah, Miss You, When the Whip Comes Down. Some Girls, Faraway Eyes, I love that song. Respectable, Beast of Burden, Shattered, every song is a winner. Great album. And the follow-up, Emotional Rescue, once again in the last year or two, I have a new appreciation for this. It's actually a really, really good album. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, this All About You that Keith Richards sings is in my top 5 or even number 3 on my favorite Rolling Stones songs. I just love the way he sings it. And once again, the packaging is crappy. Yeah, some of their album covers aren't the greatest, like this one. And Goat's Head Soup. And the final one, once again with an album cover I'm not really that fond of, Tattoo You. But we go back to some very nice packaging. Lost and Found Rarities. So 2 CDs again. And there's a booklet. What do you know? I always forget if I rated this one or not. I'm getting old and my memory is going. What did I rate it? I'll give it a 9 out of 10. And, you know, back in the day, I did buy their, you know, the albums that were coming out. I even forget the names of them now. But, you know, I would buy them. I would like them, but, you know, the replay value wasn't great, and I would end up selling them. But, you know, maybe at some point I should check them out again, because I'm sure they're pretty good, you know. Because even albums like Tattoo You and Emotional Rescue, I appreciate more now than when they came out. And that is it. I would love your thoughts on the Rolling Stones and your favorite Rolling Stones albums, and what should I get next. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.